All right, I am here. All right. So I was gonna start this almost 40 minutes ago, but I A had a nap that lasted me longer than I expected, and B was napping longer than I expected. So I'm here now. Why is my computer doing that thing? All right, there we go. Hey Cal, how you doing? Welcome. It is a slow start here, so be with you in a second. I kind of messed up and didn't have this like set up so that people knew it was coming until I posted it. So I made the smart move of putting this as unlisted at first so that it wasn't there um, with a set time in case I wasn't going to make it on time. Then I went and had my nap, woke up from a nap, realized I was late, scrambled over here, oblivious to the fact that it still said unlisted at the time. Was making all these changes to get it up and like get started because I'm like, oh no, people are going to be in the lobby wondering why we haven't started yet. And then I put up the post like, starting now, blah blah blah. And then I noticed in the corner it said unlisted. I'm like, I've been scrambling for nothing. No one knew I was 40 minutes late. Oh, oops. So I'm here now, though. I am here now. It is like 8 o'clock, 8:02. I originally had it set to start at 7:20, and I am a couple minutes late. Hello, Cal. Hello, Eddie. Hello, Scott. Hello, Lionel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. So had a bit of a nap, so I should be well rested for this. We'll see. Not sure how long I can stay. Pretty tired, but I will be on for a bit. Well, understandable, Lionel. Yeah, I mean, you can always watch it on playback later. It'll still be here for a couple of weeks at least. Ugh, man, I had a nap and I'm already yawning. What the hell? Um, every time a time loop episode happens, I always think heat of the moment is gonna play. Okay, I don't get the reference. Sorry. Um, Eric Wallace's interviews confuse you. Fair enough. Fair enough. I was watching Andy's interview on their channel, on their YouTube channel, and I had to go take like I said, I needed to go have a nap. And I just woke up from that nap and realized when I walked over to the computer, it was still on their screen, and it looked like the interview had ended shortly after I had paused it. I'm like, oh, good. I only have a couple more minutes of this interview. I can knock this out before I start the live chat. Pressed play, and all of a sudden there was 20 odd minutes of the interview left. I'm like, oh. So I watched like 5 minutes of it while I was, or listened to like 5 minutes of it while I was editing, getting all this started. And so, yeah. But we already have our first super chat of the TV season. Hello, you know what I want? Let's start. Do you know? Do you know what you want? I mean, tell me what you want. What you really, really want. Oh my goodness. Um, if you can't explain it to me, can you explain it to this guy? Hello, Victor. My name is the Flash. I am totally not Barry Allen. I don't know who that guy is. But I can tell you right now, I'm the Flash. You know how you can tell I'm the Flash? I got this fancy little helmet. You can see it right there. See, it's got like red everywhere. I got like this little zippy zoom mark on the side of my head. There's another zippy zoom mark over here on this side of the head. Plus, I don't have a mouth. Barry Allen has a mouth. I don't have a mouth. Oh, and I got like this little zippy zoom thing on my chest. See it right there? Zippy zoom right there. That's me. Anyways, I I am gonna I gotta I gotta go save Central City. There is some type of nemesis roaming about, and I must be gone. But watch the Flash sometimes on Wednesday. In the meantime, what the hell? Where did he go? Holy cow, he's fast. Thank you, Victor. Thank you. Sorry, I was preoccupied for their second, Victor. I just like stepped away. I don't know what happened, but I wish someone had come by to say something for to you. I'm so sorry no one was here to talk to you. I'll talk to them about trying to fill in the screen time next time when I'm gone. We'll see. How you doing, by the way, is Victor? How you doing? Were you in any sets of the first episode? Do you mean was I in the show? If so, I don't think so. I know the scene that I was there for, obviously, and I know the angles I would have been at, and I don't think I saw me there anywhere, but I can't say with 100% accuracy. I'd probably have to watch it 2 or 3 times to be sure, but I don't think I was there. Um, like he can't give a straight answer to things. Let's just tell us that the Legend Supergirl and Superman aren't going to be in the finale. Don't give us false hope. Well, he's a showrunner. His job is to promote the show. It's not to disappoint you. Like he will do everything he can to get you to watch the show. And if that means not giving you an answer he thinks you're going to be upset about, he's not going to give you that answer, right? Um, it was fun. The ending shows Red Death. Let me try reading that again. It was fun. The ending shows Red Death reminds me of Reverse Flash because her whole body vibrates and Owen Mercer as Captain Boomerang was interesting. Right. Captain Boomerang was fun. I love the fact that what was it you said, dumbass? Like he wasn't being subtle. Like it was funny. Oh yeah, Legends return to the Flash for some reason. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Superman and Lois will have 13 episodes this season. Yeah, we know. Everybody's been fucking telling me this for the last. I've lost track. 2 days, 3 days, maybe now. Everybody keeps telling me this, and I'm the one that told everybody this like 5 months ago. I have told all of you guys that are here on a regular basis it's 13 episodes. We did the math. We broke down how many days of filming. I don't know why this is breaking news to everybody now. I saw all these stupid fan sites going like, they cut a month out of the schedule. No, they didn't. When April 11th was originally thrown around as an end date, that was several weeks before the season even started. That was maybe from like the Production Weekly original post. By the time they started filming the season, we had a locked-in date. We had a locked-in March 14th date or whatever it is, March 10th maybe. I forget the date. Anyways, we had a locked-in date. All these people that are like, oh, they cut a month out of the season. No, they didn't. That was never there. I don't know, man. I don't know why so many people are just losing their shit about this now. We have known for the majority of the filming season it was 13 episodes. I have said it on this show more than once in the past. I don't know, man. Well, we got our answer of our icy friend. I can't wait for more. No, we didn't really. They didn't at all explain who it is. All we saw was that she has blue, like, strands in her hair now. The interview with him from Nerds of Color said they misquoted him on the Legends thing. Yeah, they definitely misquoted him. Um, he's been very clear in a couple of other interviews that they're not bringing Legends in. I don't know why they thought differently. They got so many people worked up, and there's going to be all these people that are going to go into the season expecting to see them, because history has shown the original statement of something carries far more weight than the correction. When you say something, if I said here right now, the sky is green, it doesn't matter if tomorrow I correct it and be like, wait, guys, I meant blue. About 60% of the people that are going to point it out and be like, he said the sky is green, are never going to correct that fact. It's never going to be corrected anywhere. All these blogs, all these YouTube channels, or whatever that probably ran with that Legends quote are never going to go back and correct it. So their fans are going to go through this season thinking there's a scene where all of the Legends come in and we wrap up the Legends story somehow. None of that is happening. None of it. 0% of that is happening. I don't even think they're seeing Katie Locke this season. We are so far into the season, and there's been no real solid theory on her coming in for like an episode. In the finale, maybe, depending what the finale says. If you have like a Barry dies in the finale, like we did with Oliver, it would make sense to maybe have Sarah come in for that. But if this is just like Barry goes on living his life and they raise a kid and all that stuff, and that's how the show ends, because we've been told in multiple interviews now it's going to be a happy ending, you don't get Sarah. You might not even get Oliver. You definitely won't be getting like Superman and Supergirl or Stargirl or Swamp Thing or whoever the hell else was a star of a series. You don't need them. You don't need them. It's not a big an event. It's not a big personal event that everybody has to come to. They're already married. No one's going to be showing up for a wedding. They're already married. He's not dying, so they're not showing up for a funeral. So there's zero reason for all these like other show people to show up. Yeah. Also, not Caitlin and not Frost. So who? Any thoughts? Somebody else. Something else. I'm glad we got a Supergirl reference, even though we don't see her. We got two Supergirl references, actually. We got the Cat Grant one, and then they mentioned Kara. So, yeah. It's probably basically their way of, like, being like, yep, yeah, Supergirl's still a thing. Okay, we're moving on now. Are you excited for Cecile to become the most powerful member of Team Flash? Yeah! About damn time. Oh, thank goodness. Sorry about that, old Superman Lois. Hey, it's not just you, man. You were like the 7th or 8th or 10th person to bring this up to me in like the last 3 days, and I don't know why everyone is bringing it up right now. I don't know who the person was that got this train of panic starting now. Because this is information I've told all of you guys months ago. So many months ago. So I don't know why people are panicking now. I don't know where it started. I don't know what fan site or Twitter account got this started, but this is old news. What does Caitlin look like now? Well, didn't you watch the episode, Scott? I mean, if you're here, I assume you watched the episode, right? Do you think Superman and Lois being only 13 episodes is a compromise between Nexstar and WB in order to get season 4 of Superman and Lois? No, of course not. It has nothing to do with what the future episode or future season is going to be. It has to do with that is how many episodes they decide to have. That Chegra kiss, we knew it was coming about time. Yeah. We have known for a while that had to be coming because we've got to get all the way to the Chegra baby, man. We got to get to Chegra baby time. But yeah, I mean, they finally got past there. I think that's been one of the top 3 things people have said in the last season and a bit was just get it over with. We all know they like each other. We all know they are interested in each other. Get that out of the fucking way and move on with it. Move on. We've got that out of the way now. We don't need the awkward build up to that moment anymore. Hopefully that'll help both of those characters out. Chegra is relationship goals. Am I right, CG? I mean, can you prove otherwise? I can't. Every publication is ran with that quote. Which quote? The Legends one? Yeah, it definitely made its rounds. Any idea who Caitlin's new character is? The girl that she was playing at the end of this episode. That's the one. Hello, Abby. Welcome. So you think no Arrowverse people in the series finale? Well, we have to wait and see. Yeah, I mean, there's no need for it, right? I mean, it's not a funeral. They're not going there to bury Barry. Barry? Did I just say Barry? They're not going there for Barry's funeral, right? Eric Wallace literally stated in an interview, might have even been the new one from DC Podcast or Flash Podcast. He literally said no one's going to die. Which means it's a happy ending, which means there's no funeral, which means why the hell would anyone outside of the Flash come there for something? They're already married. That's the only other event everybody would come into town for. The only 2 things you'd come into town for is a funeral or a marriage. They're not coming in town because they had a baby. They're not coming in town because Joe made lasagna. They're not coming in town because Cecile sensed Barry had the hiccups. There's only 2 things they'd come into town for. One of them's already happened. The other one's not happening. Nothing for them to come to town for, right? With Cecile, I'm glad they're giving her something to work with. Well, she's about to leave by the looks of it because Joe basically said, hey, let's leave town. And we do know that Danielle Nicolette is at some point taking a break from the show because she went and did that movie, which she just wrapped very recently, last week. I don't know how long she was down there filming. It felt like she had left a couple of times. So I think she probably is missing for 2 or 3 episodes down the stretch or has very little screen time in those episodes. Why am I drooling in the corner of my mouth? That's weird. Sorry about that, guys. That was really weird. Nope, can't watch it till tomorrow. Oh, well, you're going to hear some spoilers here then. I didn't get to watch The Flash because I had club today. Was it good? What is your hope for the new graphic novel and what did it be about? It was good. I actually would say very good. On my Twitch stream, I called it, I think, I said between 8 and 8.5, and I still hold to that now. It's very good. What are the hopes of a new graphic novel? Well, obviously, I hope it's good. I don't care about spoilers, though. Okay. Eric Wallace said Caitlin's new character is the one will save them idea now. Huh? I don't understand that. Does the Smallville contract thing mean that Superman and Lois is actually getting canceled after season 3 despite James Gunn's assurances? No one has a clue. And what James Gunn assurances are you talking about? Because if you're talking about that quote that everybody has run with claiming that there's a season 4, he never said that. He literally never said that. His words were, it's got 1 or 2 more seasons. The quote was not, it's got 1 or 2 more seasons after season 3. Said there's 1 or 2 more seasons. Now, he could mean season 3 is one of those 1 or 2 seasons, meaning season 3 could be one of the 1 seasons. Season 4 could be the second, or he could mean season 4 is the first and season 5 is the second. Either way, his back is covered from season 3 to 5, and people are going to be mad one way or the other, depending how it goes. If they don't get a season 5, they're going to be mad that he's like, he said there was a couple more seasons, and even though he didn't guarantee it. If it's only season 4, people are going to be like, oh, he only gave us 1 more season, and he said that we might get 2. And in theory, he could have been thinking this is number 2. And if it gets canceled into season 3, people are going to be like, what happened to 1 number season? And he's going to be like, dudes, I said 1 or 2 more seasons, and this was the first of those 2 seasons. So he's covered. Eric Wall said if they had more episodes, they were going to wrap up Legends. Yeah, I heard that too, but I don't remember what interview that was from anymore. I watched the episode, thought it was above average, but I'm hopeful that the future episodes will reach Arrow season 8 heights in terms of wrapping up the season. Okay, yeah. I mean, Arrow did a great job at wrapping it up, even if they wasted a third of the season on that shitty garbage dump fire of a wannabe sequel. But the Arrow part of it was good. Why is Eobard Thawne's headstone 1983 to 1985 is Eddie Thawne cousin or something? That's our Eobard named after. Doesn't say Eobard, it says Edward. You need to read that again, man. It says Edward, which is the more formal name of Eddie. I appreciate the Kara and Cat mentions. It's a small thing, but I appreciate these type of things because it shows that these characters are still out there living their lives off screen. Yeah. If Joe made a lasagna, I'd show up. Fair enough. He looks like he'd probably be a pretty good cook. And I just had lasagna a few hours ago. Maybe that's why it was on my mind. Maybe that's why I picked out lasagna of all things. Yeah, I'm in for some lasagna. Because knowing Hal Walzabard was only 32 at the time of his death. You read that. Anyways, when Barry was running after the argument, I was thinking like, bro, don't mess with the timeline again. But I'm glad he went to Joe instead. Oh yeah. That was a good scene, by the way. The Cecile, Joe, and Barry scene. That, to me, so this episode had 2 things going for it. I think there was a lot of fun moments in the episode, and I think everything from the Joe, Cecile, and Barry scene to the end of the episode really was well done. Good writing in there. Some strong scenes. And I think they did very well from like there on. Not saying that up to that point was bad, but I really think they stepped into another gear at that point. All right, where was I? I'll really hate it if this season decides to spend 2 episodes in developing random characters we don't give a shit about, especially given Wallace said that he needs to, especially given Wallace said that he needs 2 episodes to wrap up Legends. What? Okay, I gotta try and read that again. Mhm. Okay, okay, I think I follow now. Um, I don't know what characters you're talking about, but as far as the Legends thing, they're not spending any episodes on Legends. None of the season is being used on Legends. None. Zero. Zilch. Not even an afterthought moment in an episode. So don't have to worry about that. Why are these so foggy? I don't understand how in the year 2030 or 2023 glasses are all still so complicated to keep clean. Haven't we created like, we have seedless watermelon. You're telling me we can't have smudgeless glass? Like, come on, man. Why is science even a thing if it can't have that by now? I think I'm more annoyed about it because, I mean, I've only had to wear glasses for like 4 or 5 years, and I'm not, I haven't had to live a life of having to do this all the time. I don't understand how people that have done it their whole life just accept that's part of it. Um, any idea what the cast of the Flash will do after the show ends? Other projects. On Wednesdays, we're gonna have both the Flash and Mandalorian starting in 3 weeks. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know when I'll watch The Mandalorian, but it will definitely not be live because I'm not gonna subscribe to Disney Plus, and the service that I'm using doesn't have Disney Plus. Um, Wallace said he needs 2 episodes to wrap up Legends. Yeah, if he had had a full season, he was gonna use 2 episodes to try and wrap up Legends. Um, what did you not like from 901? Anything did go well for you? Um, was there anything I didn't like? Not really. So I know I made a tweet at one point saying that Iris had annoyed me with something for a moment, but it was only in the context of up to that moment. After it played out more and more um, reasoning behind it had come up, I was more okay with it. But in that immediate moment, I was like, "What the hell, man? You just had this great moment and you went and ruined it." Um, but besides that, no, the episode is very well from start to end. There probably was something in there, but in the moment, it didn't bother me um, enough to remember it. You need a Chegger movie? Maybe we'll get one. Could be on the next slate of things for James Gunn. Do you 13 episodes as final, or can they have an additional episode? Nope, 13 is the finale. Um, I wonder if the reason Cecile stays when Joe leaves is because she wants to use her powers to help people. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I'm glad Iris doesn't want to know about their future. She's the is the reason Barry's a hero. Uh, you know what? After it all played out a little bit more, I was okay with her decision. Early on, when she said it the first time, like, "Oh, come on, you've been through all these ridiculous things, and you're gonna nitpick over this." But after she said it all, I'm like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I'm on board with that." So yeah, I kind of get it. The interview where Wall saying he needed 2 episodes was from Nerds of Color. Yeah, they're also the same ones that fucked up and said the thing about Legends being in the show and had to walk that back after Warner Brothers probably phoned them up and you're like, you're fucking wrong. So can we even trust anything they said? Is Cecile or Allegra overly annoying? I don't know. That's the thing you would have to decide, not me. Uh, how's the CGI with the new filming style? I guess good. I guess. I don't know. I know everyone saw the boomerang scene and thought, "Oh wow, that's cool." So I guess most people thought it was good. Um, with what Barry did with that bomb, that was awesome. Like he learned so much from Thawne, but now look how far he has come. Yeah, still, I honestly, legitimately do not get what they were trying to say that he did there. I don't understand it, but he did it. And in the moment, it looked like everybody had died, and then all of a sudden they're fine. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, but he saved the world, so okay, let's move on. I was a little confused. Be brutally honest. It looked cool, but they didn't explain what he actually did. Um, I forgot Danielle Nicolette did a movie, so I guess she's probably will leave for a bit too. Yeah, she just wrapped it like a week ago, so probably I'd guess like episode 9 and 10. She might not be around much. You thought I had Disney Plus? Why would you think that? I haven't had any streaming service. Only one I've ever had in my life was Netflix, and I haven't had that in like 3 years. Interview with Nerds of Color. Yeah, we just went over this. They've already been wrong once, so I don't know. Interview with Nerds of Color is that he approximately in 2 episodes of Wrap Up Legends. I think he shot himself in the foot with that statement because now filler has no excuse. Huh? Why? I don't know if I'm just like off today or if everyone's just writing like how they, I don't know. But I'm really having trouble following people's statements tonight. The interview with Nerds of Color. Wallace said that he approximately needed 2 episodes to wrap up Legends. I think he shot himself in the foot with that statement because now filler has no excuse. I don't understand. I don't understand. Sorry, you're gonna have to break down what you're trying to tell me there. I think I'm missing something in that statement. You got confused there too, like what is happening? You're talking about the nuclear bomb scene, yeah? Because I watched Disney. Yeah. So Scott, there's this thing where you can watch things that are on places you don't have a subscription for. That is unofficial. Let's just call it. So yeah, that's how I watch things. It's how I'll still be watching it. I'm not paying for Disney. Fuck them. Um, but yeah, I'm caught up to the chat, guys. So I don't know what you want me to talk about. I get right now, by the way, it's 8:33, so the West Coast is still in the middle of the episode. So there might be a few people that linger in here in 25 minutes. We'll see. But right now we're just chatting here. You know what? Give me like 2 minutes, by the way, guys. Since I'm caught up to chat, I'm going to take like a 2 minute break because I'm going to answer DM I had, and I think I just need a minute too. So I'll be back in like 2 minutes. me hear. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Rah. Oh, hi guys, I'm back. Yeah, I just needed a little break there. Had to answer a message someone had sent me. So yeah, I am back. Has anything happened since I left? Let's find out. I'm glad the Flash is ending on its own terms because if we got to season 10, they would have introduced Max Mercury. Okay. Will Kate Kane be mentioned? Oh my god, that was funny. Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What are you, nuts? Seriously. Okay. I didn't know it was joke hour. Hello, CG, a person who liked the Flash premiere. So did I, Dean Marie. Welcome. Um, I know you don't read comics, but maybe the best option to resolve Legends and maybe the Arrowverse event would be another comic miniseries like they did in Earth Prime. That's how every show goes on after the series wraps up. Comic books have always been a way to wrap up things after, or not so much wrap up, but keep telling the story after things wrap. Yeah, we hear you. Good to hear. Dropped in to leave a thumbs up, like, have a great stream. Oh, thank you, Dee Marie. Thank you for dropping by. Eric Wallace could even do his Blackest Night idea as an Arrowverse comic series. Anything's possible. Lots of things can be done in comics. I mean, they might mention her passing Ryan the mantle. No, of course not, because she didn't pass fuck all to her. Ryan just picked up the suit and decided she's going to be Batwoman. You know, I love Batwoman. Batwoman's one of my favorite shows, the Arrowverse. But that was a weird plot point, and whatever. You know, Kate Kane's storyline has been ended. They are not going down that road anymore. Yeah, of course not. They fucking hate the actress. They the second actress they got to play her wasn't terribly well liked by some of the people on the production in one capacity. And there's no fucking way they're going to mention a character that they're not going to show on screen of that prominent of a thing, because they know it's going to trigger some people, right? It adds nothing. Mentioning Kate Kane would add fuck all to their storyline and would piss off a notable chunk of the fans. You would get zero positive and a lot of negative for nothing. Now, if they mention Ryan, you get some positive and maybe a little bit of negative. But the other one, you get zero positive and a lot of negative. It would be the dumbest decision since Beatrice. It would be dumber than We Are the Flash. It would be the dumbest thing the show ever did if they brought her name up for no good reason. Dumb. Like epic dumb. Dumber than dumb. If I'm not making myself clear here, just understand it would be terribly, 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 terribly dumb. Okay. If you're still unclear after that, I don't know how to explain it. When is the next Flash set happening? Well, there's a Flash set every day, Monday to Friday, excluding holidays. If you mean the next one I'll be at, there's actually one Friday night. So there should be stuff on my Patreon Saturday morning, maybe late Friday night, depending how good the content is. And then, yeah, it should be up on my Patreon sometime Friday night or Saturday morning. Beatrice is from Arrow Season 7, right? Correct. Yeah, remember the great long story arc of Beatrice when she showed up for 42 seconds? They are on episode 12, right? I do not know for certain, but by Friday they will definitely be on episode 12. They might be on episode 12 now. I haven't sat there and like counted out the days, but you're probably right. They probably are on episode 12 right now. But by Friday for sure they'll be on episode 12. I'm caught up to the chat again, guys. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fill in this time. I should have started later. Remind you who Beatrice is? She's only the greatest character in television history. How do you forget the most iconic character in all of superherodom? Remember her? She's the one that killed Emiko Queen. How can you forget that? She had almost a whole minute of screen time in. I don't know how you forget that. I mean, it's ingrained in you when you just ask someone, name a character from the Arrowverse. Everyone's just like, well, Beatrice, of course. I don't know how you would forget her. Do you know what episode Matt Letcher is supposed to be in? I don't for certain, but I would suspect 11. The Mandalorian is going to be awesome. Probably. I mean, the first 2 seasons were, so I doubt season 3 is all of a sudden going to fall off a cliff, right? I mean, it'd be pretty surprising if all of a sudden the show sucked. You remember her now, forgettable still. How can you forget her? I mean, that is one of the most epic characters in television history. Like, anytime you ever see those like things, and they're like, here's the top 10 characters of all time. They don't even mention her because they just know everybody will already know she's number 1, so they don't even bring her up. They're just like, here's 10 others that are second. You know, it's just the way it is. I'm surprised only like 14 people here tonight. This is a lot slower than I thought it would be after a season premiere, guys. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know the episode's not over on the West Coast yet, so that might have something to do with it. This is quieter than I thought it'd be. Season 7 Arrow was a very mixed bag. Every season is that way. Longbow Hunters and Ninth Circle were rushed and wasted. Okay. I think people who don't use or don't see Book of Boba Fett will be confused. They just undid a huge moment with Grogu using a different show. Most people will be upset over that. I have basically purged the Book of Boba Fett from my mind. What moment was Grogu? Can you remind me what you're talking about? As soon as you say it, I'll probably be like, oh yeah, that. But at this moment, I don't remember the show enough to remember anything in there. Sorry for being so late, but did the first episode already premiere for season 9? Yeah. It's on right now on the West Coast in the U.S. I don't know what country you live in, but yeah, it's the East Coast airing was like 3 hours ago. The West Coast airing is on right now. Also, will the first episode be on Netflix? I can't find the premiere on the CW. Well, it's on the CW right now on the West Coast. On the East Coast, it aired 3 hours ago. On Netflix, yeah. I don't know if it comes out the next day or what, but it's on Netflix. Have you been able to talk to any cast on their last season? In what sense, Victor? Yeah, I see cast members all the time. What do you mean exactly? Grogu is back with Mando already. Oh, that? I don't think many people will be confused by that. They might even, you know how they do that thing at the start of every season, just like they did tonight? They give you a quick rundown. I wouldn't be surprised if they run down Boba Fett details too. Grogu left with Mando. Yeah. Now I follow you guys. I think they'll just recap that at the start of the episode. So what is Canada doing tomorrow? Anything special? Not a clue. No idea what tomorrow has in store. I that's one thing about my job is I never 70% of the time I do not know what I'm usually going to be doing the next day. I might have a loose plan in my head, and then I'll read Twitter and be like, "Oh, this is filming right there," and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta scrap all the plans I had and go over there." Um, so yeah, I never really know. I mean, as of right now, I don't have anything to do, but it isn't to say that I couldn't have something to do. I do have work to do still. I currently have episode 10 and 11 video content to put together, and I still have mailing to do. So I do have things that I have to do, and I need to at least get one, if not two of those things done by Friday, because I know I'm going to have that Friday set to work on. So I need to at least get one of those one of those three things done tomorrow, preferably two. Ideally, all three. How's the premiere in your opinion? Because I've not been able to see it yet. Very good. I would call it pretty solid. On my Twitch stream when I did the live watch, I gave it between an 8 and an 8.5. I didn't give it a solid defined number, but I said between 8 and 8.5. The way they made Red Death look at the end reminded me of Reverse Flash in season 1, blurry with red eyes. Okay. I think I saw someone else say that earlier, either on here or on Twitch. I can't remember. I thought it was cool also that they put the logo up at the end, because there's probably some people that don't obviously see the news or set photos and all that stuff, who probably had no idea what this blurry character is supposed to be, and will now have half a clue, right? Okay. Tonight's episode was really good. If you could rate it from previous seasons, how would you rate it from season 1 and now? I don't know. Because I haven't seen those other seasons recently, right? Here's a problem I really have with stuff like that when I see people and they rate all the seasons. If you haven't watched it in like the last month, I don't know how you can rate these things accurately, man. I have not done a Flash rewatch maybe ever. I mean, I've rewatched them at the end of seasons, but I've never sat there and watched from season 1 through now. So I don't know. You're excited for the Red Death storyline? That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I really like, by the way, Eric Wallace in the Flash podcast interview explains in there that they were not allowed to use Bruce Wayne. So all of those fans who had been bitching for weeks, why did they make a Bruce Wayne? Now you know, they're not gonna be happy about it. Like, they're still gonna whine, but at least Eric Wallace has shut up their like complaint. Now when they complain, they're just complaining for the sake of complaining, whereas before they were complaining because it was a legitimate question to some people. But now they have their answer. They'll still complain, but they have their answer. Interview or just talking? Oh yeah, I've never interviewed a cast member on The Flash. I've done very, 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 very few interviews in general, just because it's not really a thing I do. I'm just turning the camera off for a second, guys. I just got to scratch my back while I'm talking, so you don't care to see that. The interviewing part, I've never really cared about doing that. I mean, I would if it was easier. Like, if I didn't have to go through the steps of getting approval from a studio to do this and a agent to do that, I honestly would, and I would do very well at it. But they're so micromanaged that I can't work with that type of like limitation. So it's not a thing I do. But yeah, I've talked to them. Who have I talked to this season? Grant. Danielle, Jesse, John Wesley Shipp, Keenan, Steven, I think that might be it. I think those are the people that I've run into that I've had a chance to say hi and have a few words with. Sorry I'm late. We finally got a Chegger kiss. Yes, we did. Hello, Flash Freak. Yes, we did. Flash, 8 out of 10 for the premiere. I think that's a fair grade. I said this on my live stream. I think, like I said between 8 and 8.5, I think is a fair grade. And if anyone says below 7, I think they're grading it that low because they're a fan of insert character here and they were unhappy that character didn't get enough time. And if they give it more than a 9, they're just a fan of a character and they're all giddy because the character got too much time. I think somewhere between 7 and 8.5. Anyone outside those ranges, I think is judging it too favorably or too harsh based on their favoritism of characters. Was it as good as the Armageddon premiere? No, I mean that's hard to compete with the premiere of a crossover. Hoping you'll get set photos of Cobalt Blue. So am I. I went to the West Island Grill and you weren't there. Very disappointed, CG. Oh, I was working in the back. I made your jambalaya fettuccine. That was totally me. Yeah, I saw you there. That you got an extra large scoop because I saw you and I'm like, oh, I got to make an extra big one. Yeah, that's why I wasn't out there. What up, party people? Mr. Andy is here. I was just talking about your interview a minute ago. Do you want to come on? If you want to come on, just speak up in the chat and I will find a way to get you on here. If you do not want to come on, if you're shy and are afraid of being seen in public, I respect your privacy. I haven't finished watching your interview, by the way, Andy, because it was longer than I expected. I took a nap and yeah, okay, I'll get you the link there. I actually took a nap at one point and it was supposed to be a 20-minute nap and it turned into 45, so I haven't finished the interview yet. Andy B. So yeah, I did not finish the interview. How much time do I have left in it? So I watched some of it after I woke back up. I'm down to 4.5 minutes of it I have left to watch. I know this person. I'm going to add this person to the stream. Are you okay with that, everybody? I'm going to add this random into the stream.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Welcome to the internet.
What's that?
It's this thing I created.
Oh, okay.
So how are you doing now that the first episode is the way and you can speak freely of some things?
Yeah, I thank God, because I was getting to the point where I'm like, like this is a longer week than I thought it would be. So thankfully, thankfully everything is now out, and I'm glad I saw some of you guys in the chat for the interview. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I did warn everyone that it was going to be longer than usual because it was. I mean, we usually always have them for an hour anyway, but we had a great chat. I think we got some answers on things that I think a lot of you guys have been wondering, and we will see how those come to fruition. But yeah, I did see you popping in, CJ. You were like, I have to rewind.
Yeah, so I'm one of those people. I really hate just hopping in at the middle of something. I can't do it. I have to watch it in whole if that's possible. So I went back to the start, and I already watch most things on the internet in advanced speed anyways. So all I did, I was watching on like 1.5 speed, and when it got to topics that I was kind of like, ugh, I don't care, I would speed it up to 2. So I got through it and caught up to it eventually. But then, like I
Mm,
said, I needed a nap before I started my live stream. I was supposed to start my live stream at 7:20. I didn't start it till 8 o'clock, and part of that was my nap went longer than I thought it would. So
right.
when I woke up from the nap, I was mostly caught up to the chat at or the stream at that time. So when I woke up and went back onto the computer, it looked like I was almost done the chat. It looked like there was only like 2 more minutes. I'm like, oh, good, I can bang this out. Press play. All of a sudden, it skips back and it's like, you got like 22 minutes still. I'm like, oh. So yeah, I got almost to the end before I was kind of like, I really have to start this live stream. So yeah, I've got about 4 minutes left to get done.
Cool. Well, I'm glad people are checking it out, and I'm hopefully, it won't be the last time I talk to him. Obviously, there will be other chances for me to talk to him again. So,
Yeah, he
but,
told you to check back in 6 months.
but yeah, that was something I was like, what he keeps saying. Like, I'm like, I wonder if he thinks
He
the
knows the
season.
season. He knows the season's not 6 months long, right?
Yeah, I think he said that just to be, I think he said it just to protect himself in terms of like because he doesn't know, I think, when everything is gonna air. So I think he was just
Hmm.
like assuming like, oh well, this will be over within 6 months. But I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
I don't think CW
Could
necessarily
you
tells.
can you imagine if it actually takes 6 months to finish the season?
I mean, that would be quite something.
My apologies in advance to everyone if I put that into the universe and it got picked up.
Well, I
They're
this
gonna
was
have a Superman. They're gonna have a Superman and Lois level break in the middle.
based on the fact that the Flash is the Nancy Drew is gonna come in on January on May 31st at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. I think this is just my prediction. I think the plan is to run the Flash until May and then have it wrapped up, and then so Nancy Drew
Right.
can take over. Because I don't think they want to air too many shows at the same time that are in their final seasons. I
Hmm.
think because Riverdale comes back next month, so I think that, they're like, okay, we already have Flash, we already have Riverdale, so. But I hope everyone enjoyed it sounds like a lot of people were very happy.
Yeah. I mean, again, I was only in the chat on and off for like 10 minutes, but yeah, no one was in there being like, I can't believe they're not doing this. I can't believe you didn't ask Eric this. Like, yeah, very different personalities that were in your YouTube chat than you get on Twitter.
Yeah, no, but because I think they also know like I can just remove comments if I would need to, which
Uh,
we will like we won't deal with harassers in the chat. But yeah, we had a great chat, and I'm hoping that it gave some information. There was a bit that I was really looking forward for everyone to see.
which one was this?
And it was so I played a game with him where
Oh
I
yeah,
sit
yeah,
down.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and because I actually wanted to try to do this for two seasons with him, but it's just we've just never had. There's just never been the proper like timing for it. But this year, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the final season. I know what characters fans really want to see come back. Let me try this, and it went well.
By the way, as I openly laughed when you said John Wesley Ship, and he was like, I cannot confirm or deny. And you're like, am I supposed to pretend I haven't seen it?
It all said he's like, yes, pretend that you don't know. Um, but
I openly laughed at that.
no, I totally get that. Uh,
I'm gonna read through the chat a bit to try and catch up.
go
Just
for
rest
it.
your voice there for a second. So this final season premiere didn't hook me like arrows, but it was fine. I love the time loop montage. The time loop was fun. As soon as they got through it, as soon as I got into it that second time, I realized we're on a Groundhog Day episode, and I'm like, I'm here for that because Groundhog Day is an amazing movie, and most people that have done a Groundhog Day version do a pretty good one. It's one of those TV tropes. Every show kind of does it sooner or later, and they're usually some of the better episodes. So I was happy that the Flash got it and did a pretty good job with it. Has any new film companies coming to Vancouver? Is it dying out? Yeah, we don't have anything really new here right now. It's TV pilot season here, and how many pilots do we have on? Hold on a second, I just gotta do this.
No
Oops,
worries.
not what I was gonna do. How many pilots do we have right now? I'm stalling with my voice as long as possible because I can't find pilots. Where are they? I scrolled past them. TV
Okay.
pilots. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 pilots. So in a usual year, we'd have 9 or 10. We have 3.
Yeah, it's CW has like none this year, which is like
Yeah. That is one of the larger pilot companies we would usually have here. You think Bo-Katan will be a villain in season 3? I have no idea, Scott. You know me. I don't really theorize on that type of stuff, and I'm not. I don't know my super or Star Wars lore outside of what's in the movies and the shows that I've watched. Yeah, that's fair. The theme song from season 1 gave me season 1 vibes. Did they use the theme song from season 1?
in the
Huh?
in about Flash.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, this is
Oh no, I
this
know what
is
they're talking
13
about.
minutes ago.
I don't know what they're talking about. So in the opening credits sequence, they're running an extended version of it, and because I think it's like the final season vibe, and because Jesse isn't in the credits anymore, and I think they just wanted to be like, hey, we still have we have these amount of seconds we can use. Let's put in some cool clips.
Okay. I mean, Jesse's not in it, but they did add John Core.
He's a series regular, so
It was getting hot in here. Cal has a very important statement.
Hi, Cal. How are you? Are you doing well? I hope you enjoyed the premiere.
We also had this comment. You should jump in.
Into the Flash season 9. I would love to. I could
Oh God.
I could play maybe Allegra's father or something. I don't know. I'm kidding.
Well, didn't she have like a rough childhood or something? Do you really want to be the villain?
Oh yeah, I forgot what her backstory was. I don't know. Maybe I'm like one of Chester's old college buddies or something, or like a distant cousin of Barry's. I'm like, like, hey, you could have just stayed with me when your mom died.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? They didn't even bother to look and see if anyone else in the family could take him.
I mean,
just Joe grabbed him by the arm and like, "You're coming with me, kid." And they're like, he's got an aunt," and they're like, "Nope, that won't do." We've never heard about any of Barry's extended family. Now that I think about it,
yeah,
he's got to have aunts and uncles. Where are they?
It's I remember Earth 2, like they talked a little bit about like Dad Nora Allen's like family lineage or something like that. But I think that like I've never heard anything about Barry's grandparents. So, but obviously I think the reason like they didn't bring them in because that would erase a huge role for Joe.
Right.
So but yeah, what is the chat saying?
I didn't rewatch a full rewatch of the series since before season 7 premiere. Yeah, fair enough, Destroyer. I'm the same. I haven't done a rewatch probably of any of the seasons, maybe since like season 3 or 4. I used to back in the day every season do a rewatch right after the season was over. I haven't done it in a long time. Do you rewatch the shows at any point?
Rewatch them? Yeah, I mean, I've been rewatching a little bit of season 1, also just mostly because Air gave me homework.
Yeah.
And so I was
he gave you homework.
Listen, I'd rather take his homework than anything else. I didn't mind it at all. Yeah, I rewatched a little bit of season 1 of Flash this week. I also still always rewatch like Shameless. Like the thing is, like when I'm working, I always put some shows on in the background I already watched, just to like because when you live alone and when you're working online, so it can get really quiet in the house to a point where like it's almost like uncomfortably quiet.
That's
I don't know.
because in your mansion, all of the servants go home at like noon, and
Oh
you're
yes, because I'm that rich that I can buy a
yeah.
mansion.
It's just you and the alpacas and the and that
Yeah,
in the backyard.
yeah. Grant will stop by every once in a while and borrow my PlayStation or something.
Sure, yeah. Any hints on who Danielle P is playing this season? She is playing a character with blue streaks in her hair. That's all they told us, Alex. They didn't give us a name, which I will be blunt. Someone asked me earlier. Someone asked me in the chat earlier if there was anything I didn't like in the episode. I think that's maybe the one thing I didn't like in the episode. They didn't give us a name.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier on I said I don't think there was anything that really I really didn't like, but now that I think about that, yeah, the fact they didn't give us a name to the character, I'm like, why? Come on, you're gonna tell us it anyways later. Why didn't you just do it now? So yeah,
I mean, you guys will know probably soon.
sure, I'm sure we will. I'm sure in the next 12 episodes we'll find out.
There's 12 more episodes. I thought there were only 4.
Oops, I spoiled it for you. I'm so sorry. Eddie gives it an 8 out of 10. Good. Flash Freak says, "What up, Andy?"
What's up?
He also says he loves jambalaya because I told him I was serving him jambalaya, so it's good to know that he ate it and enjoyed it. We have this comment from this person. Sure, I can pop in for a bit. I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
Sounds like
People just
he's like a
come in here,
something.
randomly jabber on, and just leave. Weird. Have you tried to talk to Candace? That's almost as funny as the Ruby Rose thing someone said earlier. Does she still remember you? Yeah. The only time I had a chance to engage with Candace this season, she actively made her security guard walk in front of her. So I think she still remembers me. Scott says he has a question for you about your interview. I will see. Do I see it down here anywhere? Okay, it's quite a few minutes down.
Okay.
So based on Andy's interview, does it seem like Eric Wallace might be trying to fit some Arrowverse people into the finale?
Well, I know CG said he might show up, but like he will only use his own camera. He doesn't want to use like the production cameras because they're not Canon. No, that would actually shock me if they actually weren't using Canon cameras. Like it's amazing. Yeah. I think there's a reason they're probably still writing the finale because maybe there's something they're trying to figure out.
I'm gonna give everybody here a little behind the scenes of how these things work. They will still be writing the finale when the finale is filming.
Super normal.
This is industry standard. You'll have your original draft, which will come out, let's say 8 weeks before production. There'll be an edited one, then another edited one, then there'll be like another edit like the days before it starts, then there'll be an edit like the day it starts, and you'll still maybe have 1 or 2 more edits while they've already started filming. This is not rare. So when people are panicking, because I've seen people taking those quotes out of context, I'm like, I can't believe they're just writing it now. And it's like, this is how this goes. This is always how it goes. So yeah, it's, people just don't understand. It's the same as people that don't understand why you can't have certain characters sometimes, like the Batman thing. And I'm glad Eric addressed that in the interview.
Yeah, I mean, because I kind of figured that was going to be the ASBA. Because the thing is, like, even if there's things that I know, sometimes I need to I give him the plan and be like, hey, explain to viewers who may not work in this industry why you can or cannot do something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that is the truth. At least 95% of the people that are going to watch your interview aren't going to have an inside idea of how this industry works. And even out of the 5% that they might only have loose ideas of some pieces of it. So, yeah, I mean, most people don't know that there's characters they can't use. even 10 seasons into this thing,
9.
10 total in the Arrowverse. DC Comics as
Oh,
a
you mean like
whole.
that? Okay, yeah. No, but
Yeah.
because the thing is, because what he could have always said was that maybe they said that, yeah, we had an option to be able to use him, but we decided that it would just be too complicated. Because the thing is, like these like character embargoes and so on, they will always change. And so like I felt, let me just check in and see, because my sources are always kind of a little bit out of sync of like what the certain embargo is on certain characters. Like sometimes I will hear like, well, they can't use him, but they can, but they can use them in this TV project, or they will say, well, they can use her here, but they don't want to use her over there, or something like that. So that there's these, but I think now with James Gunn, I think a lot of those things are going to start becoming a little bit easier. But with Batman, because technically Disney owns the Batman television broadcast rights because of Batman 66, because it aired on Fox. So. But yeah, I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm hoping a lot of people appreciate it, because I had a feeling, oh my god, there's gonna be someone out there being like, why are you asking sort of redundant questions? I'm like, well, because I know from being working as a professional in this field, I know that these things consistently change. There's a character from, I would say, from the last 5 years that had a very interesting character rights change very suddenly, then I think a lot of you would be very. I'm not going to give it away because I will get in trouble. But like, this character was never supposed to be on TV, and then things just happily change last minute.
Interesting. What else do we got here? I would give the premiere a B on a scale of A to F. The end logo was really cool. Yeah, that end logo I think really helped a lot, because I think a lot of people would have just seen the blurry person because they didn't stay still long enough to get an idea what it was, and would have been like, what am I watching? What is this? What's the mystery? But when they put the logo up at the end, even though it's the Batwoman logo and not the Batman logo, anybody that's like been in the comic stuff, because not everybody reads articles and checks Twitter for spoilers. A large percentage of the people that are watching this tonight know nothing about Red Death coming. So when they see that, most people that at least have a comic book background will have some idea what they just saw.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it was a good idea to do that at least. We might get a Supergirl crossover with that reference. Nope, not a chance.
No, that was
none of the. So, you know what? No, we do get a Supergirl crossover this year. I forgot Dreamer was in. I like that one shot of Barry waking up and looking around. The camera was moving as his head moved. He woke up a lot of times. Which one?
During the time loop, like he was like waking up and like seeing like, where am I now? Are we still stuck in the time loop?
Oh, okay, yeah. Me and Ben were joking that the final season will be split into 2 13-episode parts. No. This episode was weak. I think you're wrong, but you're allowed to be wrong. That lava meta at the beginning of the episode reminds me of this version of Bloodwork. Oh yeah, what was that character at the beginning they were fighting?
Tarpet.
Oh, okay. I was so confused for a couple of minutes, and I never went back to it because everything else moved into more of the episode, and it never stuck in my head to remember that. Yeah. The Flash movie, apparently Gunn and Safran are altering the ending and are reshooting it in large chunks of the movie. Apparently the budget is now close to $300 million without marketing. I don't know where you heard that. That sounds like a pile of lies. Do you have a source on that, Adit? Because I have not heard that. There's no way in hell they're putting more money into that project. How does WBD plan to make that money back? I just answered that. I think that's a lie.
They're going to market the hell out of Batman. They're going to market the hell out of Batman and just hope that people will go see it.
Oh, a question for you.
So here, okay, so CJ, I would have said this to anyone if I was on anyone's stream right now. My rule with the Flash is that my thoughts on the Flash episodes are exclusive. Go first out exclusively on the Flash podcast, and then after that, I said it to Jordan, I've said it to Eric, I said it to Ben. Like, I don't talk about the Flash anywhere else until I've done on the Flash podcast, because that's my number one priority.
Fair enough. But in all seriousness, yeah.
I was looking for your. I was
Oh
looking for you
yeah.
again.
Okay.
I was looking for you again. I was like, I know CG is somewhere here in the shot.
Oh yeah. You know it's funny because you said that to me earlier, and when that episode that scene came out, I there's like part of my eye was off in the corner looking to see if I could see myself too.
But I know you're there somewhere. I just don't know like where in the crowd you were standing.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't have stills to bring up to. Oh wait, you know what? They posted that scene online. I can bring it up and look at it. If I can find it. I have so many YouTube tabs open and none of them are available to just like click on a new video. They're all things I got queued up to watch. Give me a second here. I watched that today, so where is it? History. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. There it is. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly watch it. Well, if you want to chit chat for a minute to the
Okay,
peeps here,
yeah, let me check.
I'm gonna watch it at like slower speed so I can see.
Where were we? As soon as they showed the clock with the date on it, I knew it was a Groundhog Day episode. I mean, yeah, that's because they were marking it as a Groundhog Day episode. I also heard erasing Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman in the ending. Taking out characters is not as expensive. Like I think again, I know where this comes from. It is from a certain little YouTuber, a blonde YouTuber who always runs her mouth. So take it with a massive grain of salt.
Oh, is this Crazed Randolph?
I will tell you off air what someone was call her, like a nickname. I never. Lionel Jacob says at 12 a.m. I never thought Red Dead being Bruce Wayne made any sense since Batman has been a non-catered Arrowverse. Using Batwoman is obvious. The core Red Dead is a speedster bad person. Yeah, I mean that's something Eric spoke heavily about, was that there will be similarities to the comic, to the source material, but there will also be some change as well that will make sense for what we have learned about Batwoman in this universe.
Right.
But I think it looks like I think they have a really cool story coming up, and the thing is, like, listen, like this was one of the characters that everyone was begging to see. So like, look how amazing! Like you're getting. Here's the thing. This show listens to the fans a lot more than you guys realize. The problem is that they work for a studio and a network that are not always easy to work with, and I can tell you all that from my own experience and from stories I've had to hear from people who work in various departments and so on. And it's depressing and it's sad. And I want like I think they deserve better. So like yeah, because someone was saying I know Eric always takes hell sometimes, as most showrunners do, but he do just seems like a likable, cool dude in your video interviews, and he does seem like a fan. Like that's the thing, Eric. That's why, because the thing is, we connected all the way back in season 4, and like one of the things that we bonded over was comics. Like he's also written comics himself, and he is a huge comic book nerd himself. Like this is like a dream job for him in a lot of ways. And
Right.
Now I will say this: it is not easy being a showrunner. That's why I will never be a showrunner. Like I'm the one who will talk to the showrunners and try to get them to explain to the industry that even though it all falls a lot on their shoulders, the showrunner also have bosses over them. There's a reason. I mean, see, you've probably seen it in person. You've seen, network drafts, studio drafts, and revisions over and over again. The thing is, like, there could be ideas that Eric and the writers probably really, really want to do. Sometimes, because people have always accused him of like he lies and images. No, I think that these are ideas that he wants to do, but I don't think it's being always backed by the studio and the network. And like, look, it's like it didn't shock me at all when I heard that Superman Lois gets $5 million per episode for production. Meanwhile, when you look at the Flash and this tonight's episode looks phenomenal. But
Everybody's been making a big deal about this $5 million number. That's not outrageous. I don't think people understand how much it costs to house an entire cast or an entire crew of people. Like you have, okay, keep talking. I'm going to do a real quick math in my head here while you just keep talking here.
Let's see. Eddie says, I know they said that Eric Wall said in an interview that Wally will get an emotional part in the story like season 2. Yeah. For people who thought that Wally, I don't think he said it anywhere else. I think he only said it to me and Tatiana, but he said that this episode that they shot, directed by Daniel Panabaker, would not have worked without Wally. If Kenan said, I cannot return, they would have to write a whole new story. So, and for people who are like, oh my god, Oliver and Daigle and Flo were going to overshadow him, like, calm down, guys. Tarpet was the villain of the Nightmare. Didn't see him since season 2. Yeah, because I think he was like, killed off in season 2.
I'm still mathing. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Flash Freak said that Supergirl comment was a joke. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, I have a rough estimate.
Okay.
Just for the crew. This does not include actors. This does not include equipment. This does not include renting. This does not include CGI work. This does not include the promotional team. Just your crew that would have to work the show. And this is a rough estimate. It could be much more than this. For one episode, probably about $500,000 in crew. Because you think, let's say somewhere between 100 and 150 crew members on any average day. Times that by an average of about 10 hours a day per crew member. Some might work a few less, some are working more. Times that by, let's say, a $30 an hour average, which is ridiculously low, by the way, because the starting rates for PAs is like $15 an hour. So your larger crew members are getting $50 and $60 an hour. Times that by 8 days. You're looking at around $500,000. And that is on the low scale, assuming it's probably more than $30 an hour average, and 10 hours a day might be low. So you're talking $500,000 just for crew for an episode. Now, that does not include the rental of the equipment, the rental of the space, the monthly bills that come in for like owning your studio, owning this, owning that, then the CGI work afterwards. So $5 million doesn't sound as outrageous when you start to put the numbers out there, you know?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I think the reason why I think there's been a lot of strong reactions to it is because it's, from what I understand, it is a little unusual for a CW show to have this kind of number. And I think in light of what has been happening in the last couple of years, that you can look at like other shows that have like, I'm not saying suffer because like they get the budget that justifies the ratings that they've had in previous seasons. But I think with Super Lois, like, you know, because it's not doing that much better than any other show, really. It's kind of on par with Flash and Walker and so on.
You know, I think sorry, I didn't mean to cut into you. You want to wrap up your, then I'll say mine.
Yeah, I think that's why it's like, you know, with something like Super Lois, you would think, how does it get this type of treatment? And again, because we know that HBO Max has nothing to do with the budget. They've had to debunk this several times. It's just, yeah, that's just what I thought.
So it's funny you bring that up because I'm going to counterpoint you on that. Even though they have debunked this many times, I still to this day think this is an HBO budget boost.
Everyone I've talked to at Warner Brothers has said like this. This is CW pushing more for them, but by deprioritizing other products. Because there's no way in hell HBO would want this on the CW. Like, if they could have a Superman show on HBO, they would have.
But it's the reason HBO Max doesn't have it exclusively is because they don't want to house the entire budget. They don't. That is, they're willing to give extra money into the project to get it up to HBO standards, but they don't want to take that whole cost on because they know putting on HBO Max is throwing away money. You know.
But there's no gain for HBO. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's just clarify. When you say HBO, do you mean HBO the channel or HBO Max?
HBO Max, because HBO the channel is nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Fair enough. Okay. So for HBO Max, I don't know what they would have to gain in funding a show that may or may not make a lot of revenue back. I know when Stargirl was picked up for a second season, HBO Max and CW specifically signed an exclusive deal to co-fund it because I think in order to save it from DC Universe or whatever. But as far as everyone I talked to, for Superman Lois is funded by CW, but they just happen to get a bigger priority budget because it's Superman.
Interesting. All right. I've continued. I know they've come out more than once and claim that's not true, but it's weirdly suspicious to me. What else do we got here? As soon as they showed the clock with the date on it, I knew it was a Groundhog Day episode. Fair enough. Yeah. I never thought Red Death being Bruce Wayne made any sense since Batman has been a non-character in the Arrowverse. Using Batwoman is obvious. Oh, you read this one already? Yeah. Okay. We read that one already. Bye, Cal. Although you said that 25 minutes ago. The time loop part was just like the Groundhog Day movie. Yep. Every time Barry and Chester messed up, that Barry and Chester sequence of them messing up was hilarious. Like Barry went and touched it the one time, and it just that set it off. I'm just like, oh boy. Or when Chester wrote down the 1 on the board, and the Barry came over and added the 5. Chester's like, we've done this 15 times. Oh, we have a super chat. Let me get to that. Got Victor D. Chinchilla. Andy, if you can answer, was this season going to be different? Have had the Flash gone 10 seasons? If so, any idea how? Thank you, guys. I understand the industries better. So I know Eric kind of has touched on this on a couple of interviews, that he had a longer range plan for ideas if they'd got 10 seasons and 10 full seasons too, not half of one season. So is there anything that you're allowed to talk about can add to that we didn't hear already elsewhere?
I mean, I don't know, because I don't actually know that much about season 10. Like, right. I knew like bits and pieces of what Eric was saying. Like, but I also don't know if all those things had been improved. All I knew was that Max Mercury was going to be something major with Max Mercury. That could have potentially led into another season. But honestly, I think talk to me in a few months, because I'm sure I will hear more by then.
Right. Okay, Mr. Wallace. Okay, I'll ask you in 6 months.
Listen, here's the thing. Because Eric is not the one who tells me things. That's why, I mean, again, you can look at my interview and I'm like, so you're telling me I'm supposed to pretend that I don't know that John was in your episode. He's like, yes, pretend.
I also like that he had to clarify more than once with you guys. Like, this is coming out after the episode, right?
Yeah, no, but
you know what would have been an interesting drinking game in that interview is the amount of times Eric was about to say something. It's like, I don't think I can say that.
Yeah.
Like he was so close to saying it, and then something in his brain's like, no.
Yeah, no, he I mean he gave us some good nuggets though.
I really found the Max Mercury casting decision interesting too, because I don't think anyone would have ever thought that far ahead about that too.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have minded that. So what I did was afterward was I went to Google, being like, what was he referring to? So in the comics, Max Mercury, again, who's not being used a lot in the comics, sadly, since I think Flash Rebirth, but in the comics, a friend of the Native American tribes, I will read the wiki page. In Mark Waid's origin of the character, he was originally a scout with the U.S. cavalry in the 1830s, a friend of the local Indian tribes. He was shocked and dismayed to find them massacred on the orders of his commanding officer. Enchanted by a dying I'm self-editing Native American shaman, he gained super speed. In the years of that fall, he became known to the Native American as Avehota, I don't know how to say, but he who runs beyond the wind, and to everyone else as Windrunner. So the fact that Eric was
Okay.
thinking that deep was very, very cool, because I've said this on the Flash podcast since season 0. The Flash mythology is sadly extremely white, which is why I'm very pro the show taking the liberties that you've taken to diversify it more and so on. And because like if you look in the
Okay.
line,
Okay. Can I interject and ask you a question on that? When you say that, what part are you talking about? Because
in the comics,
in the comics it's white.
it's very, very white. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was good. I was about to counterpoint you if you're talking about the show, but the comics.
No,
Okay.
that's what I said. Like, that's why I'm so much in favor of the TV show, because they decided to diversify a lot more. And
Yeah.
whereas in I think, and if this show had been made
10 years ago,
yeah, it would like I don't even think the idea of a Black Iris would ever have come up.
not a chance that would have got off the ground 10 years ago.
Yeah, and that's why I'm very proud of Greg Berlanti for.
By the way, when I say 10 years ago, what I mean is 10 years before the show started. Because obviously the show has been almost 10 years.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Could you imagine if they had done Lana Lang in Smallville as just a pure Asian girl instead of white Asian?
You know what?
No one would have really been like excited.
I know there was probably more people who were pissed off that Pete Ross was black.
I can't say because I don't remember which character that is, because obviously I didn't watch
it. He was in 3 seasons, then he left. He was the one black guy they had on the main cast.
Wait, is that the one that ended up going to jail?
We don't have to talk about that, but yes.
Oh, okay. I just realized they had a lot of people go to jail on that show.
Well, Alison Mack, the white girl who tricked us all.
Mm-hmm. What else is there? Why is that still on my screen? Sorry, Victor. I didn't mean to leave that up for 15 hours. Where was I? 9:04-ish? The time loop part was just like the Groundhog Day. Oh, I read that. Okay. I think it may be a character named Crystal Frost. That sounds like a drink. That sounds like something Gatorade would make. Have you tried the new Crystal Frost flavored Gatorade?
Side effects may include hallucinations and other personalities. I don't know, but Crystal Frost is like, that's one of the Killer Frost in the comic that actually I think.
Oh, okay.
Before Caitlin Snow. Caitlin Snow was actually more of a recent character when they added her in the show.
Okay. I'm sorry, but that screams Gatorade flavor to me. I know Eric Wallace takes hell sometimes. Oh, you read this one already, didn't you? Yeah. Okay. I know they said that Eric Wallace said in the interview that Wally will get an emotional part in the story like season 2. Which interview? Are you talking about Andy's interview? If so, that comment went in one ear and out the other.
I think he said it in a few other interviews, but I think Wally was where he went really deep. When he said that we couldn't have done this episode without Keenan. Okay.
Right. Yes. I do remember that part in the interview. Yes. Tar Pit Civilian. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It took me a minute now that I remember. I have a question with Danielle Panabaker character this season. Does she play a large part in the season or only a few episodes, since she directed an episode as well? Well, I don't know. I mean, she's directed an episode every season for like the last 4 years. Did it impact her character development in your mind in those seasons?
She was gone for an episode, maybe.
Yeah. She probably is gone for the equivalent of about an episode. It might not even be an entire episode. It might be, 6 days off leading up to the episode, and then a couple days off after the episode for pre-work and post-work on the episode. But yeah, directing doesn't like completely handcuff you from being on the show. It does limit your time, but it doesn't completely handcuff you from being on the show. The question of character use is on display with Lex Luthor. Supergirl couldn't use him until season 4 and at first for only 3 episodes. Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You know, a perfect example. I can't remember which one it was. If it was who are the two that ran Batwoman? Sarah Schechter and
No, not Sarah.
Caroline Dreves.
Yeah, Caroline Dreves was a showrunner for Batwoman. Sarah Schechter is one of the. I think she's like the VP of production, so she's involved with every show.
Okay, I remember early
She's
on.
nice though. She's super nice though.
Yeah, I remember early on one of those two. I think it was probably Caroline, but one of those two had basically laid it out on Twitter for everyone how this game goes. They make a list of people they want. They give that list to Warner Brothers or whoever their contact is. That person then comes back to them at some point and goes, okay, you gave us a list of 12 people. We can give you 6. And these are the 6 you can't have, but as a compensation, we'll give you these 1 or 2 if you can find a way to use them. So they sometimes might get a character, like say a Lex Luthor, where the studio goes to them and goes, we kind of can't give you this character fully, but we can give it to you for now under the circumstances of you using it for a couple of episodes. And if we like what we see, maybe we can give you more permission down the road. So there's a lot of behind the scenes negotiating that goes into getting a character of that stature. Same as like when Batwoman wanted to use the Joker. We never heard him called the Joker on the show.
No, we heard him called the Joker several times.
Like we referenced the old Joker, but the one that was going to be their Joker, we never call him the Joker.
Oh, you mean Ryan Wilder's brother? Sorry.
Yeah. Like we all know that's going to be the Joker, but they don't reference him as the Joker because they probably didn't have permission yet to get there because the studio is like, we'll give you the idea for the Joker, but you can't call him that till we see how it plays out and if it catches on. And it's little things like that. Sometimes you can't fully flesh out what you want until the studio gives you the okay.
Yeah, I guess you want a trivia? Guess what character on Smallville was only supposed to be in 4 episodes or for a couple episodes and then leave the show?
Clark Kent.
Wow.
Isn't it Lois Lane?
Yeah. Erica was only supposed to be for a handful of episodes in season 4, but eventually they ended up getting to keep her.
Yeah. It happens all the time. Felicity Smoke, anybody?
You know what's funny? I was watching her first episode of Felicity on Flash today, and like, actress Flash really knows how. Like, was more natural with Felicity. Like, I felt like she probably should have moved with them to Flash. Now, Felicity fans are gonna murder me for saying that, but like, but I think Felicity was a natural fit on the Flash as a good friend to Barry and whatever and so on.
Okay. We have a very controversial comment here. I hope we find out what's in apartment 4 this season.
CG lives there.
Huh?
You live there.
No, I can confirm I do not. But perhaps, I think where they're going with that is when Chegra finally gets married, they're going to need a new place that they can live together in. If I have to explain the rest to you guys, they're going to move into apartment 4, everybody. It's the start. So they can't officially. We were just talking about this with the rights to characters. They can't officially legally call the new spin-off they're going to do the Chegra show because of character rights and all that. So they're going to call it Apartment 4. And that is
These is Apartment 4. These is Apartment 4.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Starring John Cena.
I don't know. I don't really see him in that.
But you just have to ask him if he really, really wants this.
Also, Titans was only allowed to use Lex once this season on Titans. I think it's because Superman and Lois is going to use them this season. Maybe.
Nah.
Here's the thing. The cable shows get a lot more free range over who to use, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Okay, I already answered the super chat. I'll ask you in the 50 episode. I don't know what that meant. 50 episode. In the 50 episode.
And they will ask me
I
in a
don't
couple episodes. I don't know.
Okay. I can't wait to see Oliver Queen later this season. Well, you're going to have to wait because you're not from the future. I never knew he went to jail. LOL. Well, now you do. Knowing is half the battle. You did your college paper. I did my college CJ paper. Criminal justice paper on Allison Mack. Oh boy. Okay. I guess mix the things you know together, right? I didn't know that was a drink. Are you talking about the electric frost or whatever her name was? Sure.
The Crystal Electric Frost.
I couldn't remember what it was called.
Crystal. It is a her, and her name is Crystal Frost.
Yeah, also known as Electric Frost now.
Okay.
Hey CG, I didn't know if you saw someone comment in the chat one night, but the question was, do you think Grant will have a beard again once the Flash is over? I've never seen that question ever. No one's ever asked me that. That's up to him. I mean, I don't have any input on that at all. I am gonna just let you know right off the bat. Speaking of Erica from Smallville, wasn't they supposed to do a cartoon series of Smallville? It was supposed to take place after the series ended. Yeah, they did not a cartoon, but a comic book series, didn't they? Didn't they do a season in the comic books?
Season 11, but he's talking about a couple last year somewhere.
There
you go. There you go.
Yeah, I've heard nothing more on that ever again, and I'm assuming under new ownership that idea just was lost.
I think they're waiting to see what the small creators who are now who are also the showrunners of Wednesday on Netflix. I think they're trying to figure out how to do it. But they're always be looking for new animated project, and I think James Gunn is really well aware that Smallville was a very popular show.
Would you have to get the actors that originally voiced them to come back? Because I hate to break it to you, some of them have probably aged out of that.
I mean, Tom and Eric could still do it. It's like I think someone maybe Annette O'Toole maybe couldn't do it. I don't know.
Allison Mack is gonna have a little trouble.
Well, Tom actually Tom and Eric made a really funny gag about Allison at the I think it was maybe the Vancouver Con last year, where they were talking about bringing back cast members, and then Tom goes, "It might be tough to get Allison." Everyone starts to go, "Ooh," and then Eric goes "We can use Zoom," so adorably.
Do they even allow Zoom in maximum state prisons?
I mean, she's a white privileged woman. I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah, right, yeah. I'm surprised she got more than a couple of days in jail because of that.
Only 3 years. I thought that was too little.
Oh, it's so little. Yeah. But, I mean, the fact that she's going to jail for anything, I mean, I guess that is a step up for the criminal justice system. I've run out of topics here, and it is getting close to 10 o'clock. 15 minutes left, guys. If you have any last comments, you might want to drop them in there, because we are wrapping this up in approximately 15 minutes. But, your overall... Something? What's that?
Can I plug something?
Yeah.
Well, if people want to hear my thoughts on The Flash, I will be live tomorrow at youtube.com/DC podcast at 9:30 p.m. Eastern /
If you got the link to it, I don't know if you can put it in the chat. If not, I can put it in. So that's the same one your current interview is on, right?
Yeah, for the network we only have one YouTube channel. I put it in the private chat if you want to share it. We only have the one channel that there's one we were trying to grow and evolve and so on. But yeah, it's we're gonna be doing every episode live with the Flash podcast. We're gonna do every episode of Flash.
Oh, you've already got a page set up for it. I don't even have to go to the channel, just perfectly to the page.
Yeah, and again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight for the interview. Like there was like
there you
30 people talking in the chat. I'm so happy people,
That's good. You know what I found? I found tonight's here has been a little slow actually, so I'm glad yours worked out.
Yeah, you know what's so funny is that YouTube was like, because it was trending on Twitter, they hashtag YouTube down, and I'm like, I'm literally I'm like literally uploading this interview right now. Like, what does this mean for me? And then thankfully, like it went up.
So for me, I found out about it through Twitter, and then I instantly went to YouTube, and my entire main page was empty. Like no suggested videos, nothing was there. And then I refreshed it once, and it was perfectly fine. So that's how much hassle it was for me. I refreshed it once and it worked, but I'm sure other people it probably was longer, right? But yeah, I wonder if it's still maybe a problem some places, and maybe that's why viewership's a little slow right now. Because I'm really surprised how quiet it is tonight for a premiere.
Yeah, I think it's because of Twitter being messed up, because Facebook and Instagram was also having issues apparently. So, but I'm glad we were able to at least be on social media when the Flash was airing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So 3 hours ago, Team YouTube said the problem had been resolved. So yeah. Okay. We have another super chat here from the Flash Freak. Can you reveal if Barry Allen is the Flash?
Probably not.
I don't know, because here's the thing. Does anyone really know who the Flash is? Like, he's very secretive about this. Could you imagine if Barry Allen just walked up to a random like villain and like showed his face to him? That would be weird, eh?
I'm the Flash. There you go.
Look, you'll have to trust me on this because, boop, I'm Barry Allen. Yeah, they would never do that, man.
Never.
How many times has that happened?
I thought it was it was funny when it happened in Crisis, because initially I was like, oh, that's the last time Oliver will touch him. Then I thought like that sounded weird in my head. But
okay, so it wasn't just me that heard you say that. Okay.
Yeah.
When they showed the preview for next week's episode, I had to look very closely because Harley looked like Ralph by the face. Hartley Rathaway, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that get a little confusing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's like on Superman and Lois when they had Jordan playing Jonathan, and there was a Jordan character, but it's not played by Jordan.
I thought for a second you meant like our Jordan, like Jordan. I was like, when was Chainsaw on Superman?
Yeah. Didn't you see last season Chainsaw was playing a high school kid? Did you not watch the season at all?
Nah, I'm more of a Flash fan.
Is it because the Flash is in the Arrowverse and Superman and Lois is not?
Now, boys, you listen to me right now. Oh my god, I'm never gonna be over that. That's the stupidest dialogue I've ever heard any TV show give about anything.
Oh, come on. There's been stupider than that, I'm sure. It was definitely dumb, but I'm sure there's been stupider.
And also a waste of Dylan Walton's talent, because the thing is, like, the guy who plays General Lane, he's a good actor.
Yeah, but you're only as good as the content you're given sometimes too.
Oh, but of course.
By the way, I will get to that point in a moment. I have an interesting take on that, but we have a question. Hey, CG, I have a question for you and Andy. If you were to be a superhero, who would you both want to play as your love interest in the series? If I were a superhero, um, I don't
You want
know.
me to start? I can start. If I wanted to be a superhero, I would love to be Jason Todd, aka Red Hood, and and my love interest, I would want it to be Helena Bertinelli, Huntress.
All right. All right. I have met Jessica DeGao, and that is not a terrible choice.
Was she was she was she nice?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. There's been very few that are not nice. But yeah, 98% of them have been great. So the one in the Arrowverse that I would have picked, unfortunately, her character is not into men, and that would be Nissa.
I mean, remember how much she loved Oliver.
Because Katrina is amazing in person. But I don't know. I never thought of that question because it's not a question like people always ask like which superhero do you want to be? Never thought of which superhero like love interest I would want. I don't know. If I had to base them just off of what I know about them and have seen and all that, I mean, Katrina Law is probably the most attractive of all of the ones I've met. So I would probably say Nissa, even though she might not be, she might have a wandering eye for other people's.
The Flash
um,
identity is for Tommy Merlin. Oh,
Eddie would want Wonder Woman. Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. The Flash true identity is Tommy Merlin. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Colin O'Donnell would have fit on this show very
Cause
well.
you notice Tommy Merlin just vanished from Star City, and all of a sudden, a couple months later, the Flash shows up in a different city. There you go. Huh? Yeah.
Sure.
I can't wait for Superman and Lois to start. Let's go already. Yeah, you have a few weeks to still wait, Victor. So we're wrapping this up in about 5 minutes, guys. So you got to get those last questions in now. But back to the point I was making a couple of minutes ago that I said I'll get back to, talking about the content that people are given in an episode. When you're talking about Dylan on Superman and Lois, this goes to tonight for Candace Patton and the Flash. I loved her character tonight. She was so fun. And that comes down to the content she is given to work with. If you write a character well, doesn't matter if that you could have written that episode, you could have written that material for half a dozen other people, and they might not have nailed it. But for her, it worked. I really enjoyed Positive, Cheerful Iris. I really enjoyed it. And you know how weird it is to hear me crediting that character. So this all comes down a lot of times to the writers. The actors can act their ass off to shitty material, and you look at it and you're like, oh, this character's not very interesting. This character sucks. The actress sucks. It's like, no, the material they're given, that's half of it, you know? Do you think Goldface ever comes back on the Arrowverse if the line "Daddy likes some metal" wasn't delivered the way he did?
Oh, dear Lord.
Right? It comes down to the delivery of a piece of material they are given, you know? So yeah. It's almost 1 a.m. for me, so I'm going to call it a night. Fair enough, Lionel. Fair enough. Great chat. Thank you for coming by. Any last comments that Mr. Andy has for the universe?
That I have. Ooh. I
I'm sorry, guys. That's all the time we have. No.
Again, I don't know what I can and cannot say. Again, it was a miracle that
Oh, you can say everything here. I mean, doesn't mean you won't get punished for it later, but you can totally say it here.
I'm hoping for a season to continue this strong after this premiere.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fun stuff coming up. And I'm generally hoping that we can all enjoy this final season together. Because I know last season was a little overwhelming for everyone. I know it was everyone had very mixed feelings about it towards the end, and I understand. I think that's why, again, I think this is a show that cares about its viewers, and I think they're trying the best they can to make it as happy as possible. It's just working for these corporates is not always easy.
Mm-hmm. All right. So guys, I am going to wrap it up here, but I will just give you a little tidbit on what's coming up for me in the next bit. If you guys weren't here earlier in the chat, you might have heard me mention some of this, but this is what I know is coming up for me. Sometime in the next couple of days on Patreon, I have to get out my episode 10 video still, my Flash episode 10 video. I still have episode 11 video, which isn't nearly as long, but I have a little bit. So I have to get those out, but episode 10 I really feel like I have to get out in the next couple of days because Friday night, episode probably 12 is filming downtown Vancouver. So I will be starting with episode 12 stuff probably for the photos on Patreon late Friday night or Saturday morning. So I will then be bombarded with all that stuff, and I'm going to start to get behind on this stuff. And then next week on Wednesday, Superman and Lois is also filming just outside of downtown. So I have to start getting some of this content up sooner rather than later. So you should look for, if you're one of my video tier patrons, a video probably, maybe even tomorrow. If nothing's really happening tomorrow, probably tomorrow. But definitely by like Friday, I'm going to have that up just so I'm not so far behind on the video content from episode 10 with the Joe and Singh stuff and the Nora and Henry stuff. That should come out either tomorrow or Friday on Patreon. It won't be up here public on YouTube for a week or 2 or 3, depending how lazy I get. The episode 11 stuff, I'd like to have that up and out before Superman and Lois films so that I'm not that far behind. So you might be getting double stuff this next week. But then, like I said, episode 12 still photos. You should probably expect something from me Friday night or Saturday morning on Patreon. So don't be surprised if you wake up Saturday morning seeing it all over your timeline on Twitter. And that's about all I've got going on. But that's it for today. We are done with episode 1, a very, very solid premiere. I am excited to see where these things go. And hopefully we will be back with more people next week. I know I've said this a couple times. I'm not nitpicking to the people that were here, but I'm really surprised the numbers were this low tonight. I don't think I broke 25 all night. I'm not even sure if I broke 20. If I did, it wasn't for very long. Compared to last season when I did these, it's 35 to 50 every night. I don't know what's going on right now, but surprised. Hopefully it picks up as the season goes along. But we will see each other in the future somewhere. I don't know when my next actual live chat might be. It might be just on Wednesdays. We will have to see. Oh, speaking of Wednesday, everyone. As I just said, Superman and Lois next week, Wednesday set I have, which means there's a high probability I will not be doing a live chat that night, but we'll see. And I will almost 100% not be doing a live watch along with The Flash. So just to be warned. But that's it for now, guys. Everybody say goodbye to Andy. Andrew, yes.
Yeah, thank
and you can catch him tomorrow on that DZ podcast there that I put the link to up in the chat there a few minutes ago. And if you missed part of this, you can watch it on playback very soon. But until then, bye everyone.
Bye.